Hello students, today we are going to learn about what is a projectile. Projectile is the most common example you will study about the motion of an object in two dimensions or motion of object in a plane. So let's get started. So our very first question, what is a projectile? Projectile is any object upon which the force acting is only gravity. What is meant by this is that no other forces other than gravity are acted upon this. For example, you throw a ball upwards, like in this case. I am throwing the ball upwards, it is going upward, but the gravity is opposing the force, because as we know that acceleration due to gravity, Earth's gravity always acts downward. So it is opposing the motion of the ball. At it reaches the highest point, here its velocity we know that is 0 and it starts to come down. It is a common example of projectile. Or you can simply say that just throw a ball vertically downwards. In this also case, gravity is attracting the ball towards the surface of earth. Imagine just it's the surface of earth and it is attracting towards it. We throw it, no other forces are acting on it, just because only the gravity is acting on this. No other force, no other human interferences are there, only gravity is acting. And if we throw a ball at the angle, it is we are throwing at the angle. Imagine your other friend is standing here just trying to catch the ball you just threw, so it is at an angle to the horizontal. An angle, imagine it's theta and it's the vertical, so it goes like this, so it's at an angle theta. So you throw a ball. These all are basic examples of projectile. If we throw a ball vertically upward, vertically downward, or at an angle, they all are the examples of projectile. Now we need to study the motion of projectile. How what's the shape of the shape of the path which it takes. You can simply see here it's in parabola. In other cases it's also parabola. Simple assumptions we make before studying the motion projectile are assumptions without which we cannot study projectile. Number one is g, that is acceleration due to gravity, is all constant. We know that acceleration due to gravity has an average value that is 9.8 meters per second square. It is not uniform throughout the surface of earth, so we assume that it is constant or approximately equal to 10 meters per second square. We sometimes use the values according to our questions. And next is air resistance is negligible or 0. Air resistance should be 0. There is no air resistance there should be no air resistance, and if it is, it must be negligible or it can be 0. So for studying projectile, as we say, projectile is a common example of motion of an object in two dimensions. So we totally need two axes for the study of projectile, which are mainly x and y, the most common coordinate system we take for studying the motions of the object. Let's suppose I throw a ball to other friend. I am standing at origin and my friend is standing here at some point, at some distance. I threw a ball to him or her, so it will follow the path like this. It's not exact parabola, but it will follow some kind of this kind of path. So it's, as you can see, it's a kind of parabola, which we will prove after. But most motion in a plane requires two motions. Now firstly we will study about horizontally launched projectile. Horizontally launched projectile. Just imagine you are standing on a cliff and throwing a ball just not downwards, throwing like this, but at that the moment you threw the ball, I just turned off the switch of gravity. If gravity is not there, no force will be pulling this ball. In my case it's a cannonball, कोई भी ball हो सकती है. No force is pulling it downward, so it will not come downward. It will follow this horizontal line, and it will continue with speed, same speed in the same direction, that is horizontal. If I just imagine I threw it at 50 meters per second, it will continue to move in this direction with the same speed. If it's after 1 second, after 2 seconds, its speed is not going to change. This is what we call a horizontal projectile. A simple example, I'm just going to take it like this. Just imagine I'm standing on a cliff like this, or you threw a ball, so it's going to be like this. It's not going to change its direction because gravity is absent, and if we are studying projectile, no other forces are acting. If gravity is absent, it cannot come downward. It will not come downward, it will go in this direction only. And now just take another ball or another cannonball you want to take, and this time I have switched on my gravity. Gravity का switch on कर दिया. What will be the difference? As you can see, the difference will be in the path followed and many more things which we will discuss. See here, if gravity free path, it's going horizontal, but now my gravity switched is on, so gravity will attract it towards the earth's surface, so it will start coming down, or no horizontal forces are acting. We know that gravity always acts downwards, so in a projectile, horizontal velocity remains constant and there is no hindrance. Gravity doesn't hinder its horizontal motion, because you can simply understand, if there was no gravity, the ball will continue to move in the horizontal direction. The only thing it's changing, its vertical velocity. If at this point it remains the horizontal velocity, we know that the path, this tangent will give us the velocity. Imagine it at time t, it's u, and if I just resolve it along the x direction, my velocity, let it be ux and let it be uy. In horizontal direction, it will be same because gravity doesn't affect that, but this quantity is going to be changed, uy, and it's going to be negative. Why it's going to be negative? It's a simple reason, because we take, let it be positive y-axis and let it be my origin, let the surface of earth be the origin. So my ball traveled like this. It's going to have different velocities at different points. Imagine it's here and it's positive y-axis and this is positive x-axis. We always take things that go upward in a positive manner, right positive, left negative, downward negative. So our vertical velocity is acting downward and horizontal velocity is acting in right direction, so it's gonna be positive, and while this value is going to be negative because it's acting downward. So Let's take an example. It will make more clear how the velocity is going to change. See this. I'll draw. In this diagram you can see I just fired the cannonball at the speed of 20 meters per second. Not to forget that it is its horizontal velocity. In the vertical direction it's 0 because there are no forces. I'm just firing the cannonball in the horizontal direction. So it is its horizontal velocity, not the vertical velocity. So it is at 0 second. After 1 second, what is going to happen? After 1 second, horizontal velocity is going to remain constant. But since our g is acting downwards, the velocity is not, should I say, vertical velocity. Vertical velocity is not going to be constant. It's changing. It's changing at the rate of 9.8 meters per second. So at the first second the vertical velocity will be very low. It's 9.8, negative signs as we know just for direction. And if we talk about magnitude for the second, it's increasing. Velocity is increasing. It's 19.6. For the third second, it's 29.4. The velocity is increasing in the downward direction. And for the fourth second, it is 39.2 meters per second. And the moment, or just the moment before it hits the ground, it's 49 meters per second. So you see the vertical velocity is changing, not the horizontal velocity. So let's talk about some simple things which differ in horizontal and vertical direction. Just let me write it down. Horizontal and vertical direction. Things which we differ. First, if we talk about forces, simple force, there are no forces प्रेजेंट. हॉरिजॉन्टली लॉन्च प्रोजेक्टाइल में हमारे पास कोई फोर्सेस नहीं है. हॉरिजॉन्टल डायरेक्शन में एक्स डायरेक्शन में कोई फोर्स नहीं लग रही है. बट इफ वी टॉक अबाउट वर्टिकल डायरेक्शन, येस देयर आर फोर्सेस. ग्रेविटी इज वर्किंग. Gravity, Earth's gravitational force is acting towards the objects. So next point is initial velocity, or should initial velocity. Yes, there is initial velocity. U naught, we generally denote the initial velocity by u naught. Since it is the x direction, I am going to write u naught x. The velocity with which you drop a ball, fire a cannonball, or just say throw something, it's u, or anything you want to, let me just consider it u. It's just before you throw the ball, not at any instant of the projectile. And if I talk about vertical initial velocity, it's u naught y. It's in the y direction, it's 0. So, because I am talking about the moment it just we throw the, there are no forces acting on the moment we throw the ball, something else, it's 0. And now acceleration, if we talk about acceleration, acceleration in the x direction, that is ax. If you notice from the diagram, the horizontal velocity vx or ux, you can just write it according to what you want to. You see that during whole of the time for the projectile, which we call time of flight, it is constant. Since the velocity is constant, our acceleration will be 0. So our acceleration in the x direction is 0 meters per second square. And as far as the vertical direction is concerned, it's number 3. Acceleration in the y direction, ay, is, yes, since gravity is acting, so acceleration will be there and it will be minus g. Minus g, that's why, because the velocity is acting in downward direction and we take upward as positive, that's why it's negative. So these are basic things we need to study, and when we will do the mathematical notations, it will come in handy to derive the equations. So let's derive the equations or do some maths. So I have here my coordinate axis. Since I am talking about motion in a plane, I'll need 2 axes, that is x, y, and just take it as I'm standing here. I throw a ball from a cliff and it goes down like this. I'm standing at an height, you can say y or h, just consider a point A, and where it's land, it's B. You can denote the height by y or h, whatever you want to choose, it's up to you. And how far it landed from the horizon, that is this distance, I denote it with r, and it is usually called range. And just consider a point on the, I have threw it with a horizontal velocity of u meters per second. So what things we have, if we because since I am throwing the ball, I'll probably know this thing, at how much height I am standing, at how much height I am just throwing the ball. Sometimes we knew this, and we need to find out how much far it's going to reach on the ground, or this whole thing. So, and how much time it takes from this A point to B point to reach, that is our time. So just let us first write down, like the previous time I wrote down the things I have for horizontal, that is h, and for vertical, that is v. So for horizontal, first we have our initial velocity, or u naught x. I am denoting my initial velocity with u naught x, that is u. For vertical, my u naught y, that is initial velocity in the y direction, it's 0, because there is no velocity, initial velocity in the y direction. And the second is acceleration in the x direction. Since the velocity in the horizontal direction is constant, acceleration here is going to be constant. Next, here we have ay is minus g. Our gravity is acting because we are starting with projectile. Next is displacement in the x direction. I am going to denote it by delta x. What's the displacement in the x direction? This is the displacement in our x direction, and what it is, what we are saying, it's r. And if I talk about the displacement in the y direction, is minus y or h. I am denoting it by minus h. Why it is minus h? Because as you can see, our ball or anything you want to say, it's coming downward, not it's not going upward, that's why it's negative. First, so what are the things we want to find out? That is r and t. time is something that connects both these relations, because time taken for the vertical flight and time taken for the horizontal flight, it's going to be same. So these two equations are connected by the time. So you see we have more knowns. We know many things in the y direction and not in the x direction. So I am going to start with y directions. There are less variables here. So since I have u naught y, initial velocity, acceleration and displacement in the y direction, and I need to find t, so I'm going to use that equation where there is no use of final velocity in this, and that comes in handy. So I'm writing for the y direction, that is delta y is equal to u naught y into t, that is time of flight, plus half ay t square. Delta y, what is delta y? It's minus h, and u naught y, it's 0, so this terms cancels out and I am left over with 1 over 2 minus g into t square. Minus gets cancelled and I get the term for t. What I get for t square, that is 2h over g. Also if I solve it, I will get t is under root 2h over g. So this is same, this is going to be same time for, it's going to take for the horizontal. Let me change the color for the x direction, horizontal direction. I am going to use the same equation that I used in the vertical direction, that is but for x. So it's delta x is equal to u naught x into t plus half a naught ax, it's t square. So if delta x, what is delta x? R, this is I called it as range. What is u naught x? The initial velocity which went through, it's u. T, I found it out just, it's u into t. And the second term got cancelled out because there is no acceleration in the y direction. So I am left with r, or range is equals to u into t. And if I put the value of t, it's going to make u upon u into under root 2h over g. So these two are the values which are going to be needed, or you're going to be find out. And there is one more thing, that is we are going to use. Just consider at any point you want to find the velocity at any instant. Just take it as point B, point P, that's whose coordinates are x over y. The tangent vector will denote our velocity. If I just, it's not perfect, let me draw it again. The tangent is going to tell me that velocity, let it be u dash. Let me resolve into its components. I am resolving it into ux and uy. So as far as ux is concerned, it's constant, so it's going to be u, the velocity which I threw. And for uy, I am going to use uy minus u naught y is equal to g into t. A into t. Our velocity is going to be negative, which I am going to ignore. Since it's acting downwards, let me use the negative sign. Initial velocity is 0. So it becomes minus u naught y into minus acceleration, what we have, it's minus g. So it's minus g into t. So we get the value for uy, that is equal to gt. Since I resolved into components, I found it the variables that I know, because I can find out the time and everything else. So u dash y, what will be u dash y? U dash y will be equal to ux square plus uy square under the root and that is, what is ux square? It's u square, and I just found out the uy, that is gt square, and it's g square t square. So it's the instantaneous velocity in the variables we know at the starting. And if I also want to find out the angle, let the angle, or say the direction, it's beta. So you can find it in terms of tangent. So what will be tangent beta? If I see here, it's going to be uy over ux. So our direction will be given by tangent inverse. What is uy? I just found out it's gt, and what will be ux? It's going to be u. So it's my direction. So that are the mathematical derivations. So let's do an example. It will just clear your picture more. So here are my coordinate axes. Just these are y axis, these are x axis. I'm just standing over a tabletop, or just tabletop over a cliff. Just imagine here is a diver. It's seashore. It's rocky here, and here it's water. Just imagine a diver. A diver is going to dive in the sea with a horizontal velocity of, say, 30 meters, or you can say 30 meters is going to be, just let's say it's 3 meters per second, and the shore is about 100 meters high. So I have to find out how far from the seashore he jumps into the sea, and the time taken by him, our diver. So it's going to be simple, and we already did the formulas. So if I found the time, then I'm going to find out how much far he dived from the seashore. Time taken should be, we just did the formula, that is 2 into height over g. So what is our height? It's 100 centimeters, and we know the value for g, that is 9.8, or you want to take it 10, it depends upon you. I'm taking for sake 10, and if you want to take 9.8, it depends upon you. It will be, calculations will be much easier with 10, so I'm taking here 10. That is, so what is under root 20, I'm going to say. So what the time will be? 4.47 seconds. So the diver takes about 4.47 seconds to just jump into the sea. And now I have to also find out how much far he goes. So our range, or you can say, will be initial velocity into time taken, that is u into t. What we have for initial velocity? It's 3 meters per second, and I just found out the time. So it's 4.47. What it's gonna be? 13.41 meters. So if here it's the origin, so he's gonna dive about 13.41 meters off the shore. So that is our distance. So let's do some practice for the numericals. of horizontally launched projectile. We will so see you in the next lecture.